There were protesters turned up in Birmingham. Now, according to Jess Phillips, they were made to do this.
That's the Home Office Minister.
Because the far right apparently goaded them and agitated them to coming out and having a row. And they obviously thought they would, and they took over this roundabout. They ragged their cars around there with absolute impunity. As you can see, no police there, no high-vis jackets, nobody in riot masks. And you wonder why we're asking questions about whether people are treated differently, dependent on their identity in this country. Have a look at this as well.
Community leaders have been speaking to the police as well because...
Yo, free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Right, I think, apologies for the language you're hearing, but a sense of the anger, I think you can hear there.
Yeah, Katie, I think we...
And that trigger of a gun there, right down the lens of the camera. That's reassuring, isn't it?
And then they went on to, this group of young Muslim men, the Clumsy Swan pub in Birmingham, and they were waving Palestinian flags. Of course, that has to get involved into the mix. And they attacked a man. A quick warning here. This clip contains some very violent images that some of you may find distressing.
So that guy had gone out into the beer garden on his own and was just stood there in his T-shirt, and he was slightly sort of going, come on then if you think you're hard enough, but he was clearly not involved. He's not there politically. He'd obviously just wandered out having a pint. So let's go now to Charlie Peters, who's at that pub in Birmingham. Good morning, Charlie. First of all, do we know the condition of that victim of that assault?
Well, we'll be speaking to the assistant manager of this pub in a moment, who'll have more information on that individual, but we've not seen any updates from the authorities who attended this scene last night. But we do know that while that man was out front here at the Clumsy Swan pub in Yardley, everybody else was inside barricading themselves. After that masked mob, many of those men armed with machetes of South Asians descended onto the scene after a prior protest at Bordsley Green, about half a mile away from this location. They started gathering about 5 p.m. on a roundabout by a McDonald's upon reports that a so-called far-right protest, an anti-immigration protest, would be gathering there. No such protest occurred, but we did see that arrival of men in masks, many of them carrying weapons and threatening journalists. They then moved here, and we can see some of the damage to the pub from last night. This window smashed in, and there's also some evidence of some of the barricading that took place last night. It was a karaoke night here at the pub. There were families inside, children, granddaughters attending this event, when suddenly hundreds of men arrived. And I've watched some of the live streams of that footage last night where those who were actually on their way to that location were saying that they were there to dominate and intimidate people. There was also a live stream of a police officer saying that what happened here last night was no different to a scuffle you might see on a Saturday night. Well, one person who did witness the scenes last night is the assistant manager, Linda, who joins me now. Linda, just talk us through what happened last night and your experience of what occurred.
So basically, we knew the march was coming down Stony Lane, so I just got all the customers in, got the stalls in and everything, and locked up the pub. And then, unfortunately, a customer did get out. He got hit a couple of times, and it just escalated from there. So they tried to boot the door in, they broke the glass, broke the handle over there, and just trying to intimidate everybody.
Have you been able to speak to that man who was injured in that attack?
Yeah, he's fine.
He's fine
Yeah,
now.
he's fine. Yeah.
And what was the scene like inside when it started? You told me earlier you were barricading yourselves inside the pub.
Yes, because they were trying to boot the doors in.
And how did you barricade the doors?
With the tables and chairs and customers and stuff, and just stopped them.
What were you thinking in that moment? Were you terrified they could break in?
Well, yeah, it was scary. I've got kids in there. It was karaoke, there was children in there, staff in there, everything. So, no, it was scary. It was really scary.
And have the police been in touch today after they eventually
No.
attended? They've not been in touch at all?
No.
And why do you think that is? I mean, was there a sense of nervousness that they might avoid this location last night?
I had no idea. In all honesty, but I don't know. You'd have to speak to them. Well, I don't know.
Well, we've tried speaking to West Midlands Police this morning. We've had limited response so far. I mean, the Chief Constable of West Midlands Police, Craig Guilford, said that some counter-protests are understandable, but they're unhelpful. Do you think these protests are getting out of hand now when pubs are being targeted?
To be quite honest, I don't do politics. I just get up, go to work and go home. I don't do the politics side of it. That's for the other people to sort out. I just do what I do.
Are you concerned that what happened last night could happen here again due to the quite limited policing response at the time, as many eyewitnesses said?
They seem to be going from one area to the next, and I think once they've done what they want to do, they carry on somewhere else. So I don't know that they'll come back on themselves. So I doubt it. I doubt they'll come back.
But it could be a different pub next that gets in this sort of trouble.
It could be, yeah. Just be prepared. Yeah.
We see some repair work going on this morning to deal with a smashed window here. Are you going to be trying to tell your customers to reassure people they can come back to this pub after last night?
They already know, because the regulars know the area, they know the pub, but they won't stop them coming in.
Yeah.
They're loyal. They'll be back.
And just describe some of the scenes inside at the time. I mean, it was a karaoke night, you told me earlier. So there were families
The
in there.
karaoke had finished, so that finished at 7. So there was still a few people in and young kids in. So it was really scary for them, more for the kids than anything.
Yeah. And did you hear anything that was being chanted outside?
No, I didn't hear anything. Couldn't hear it because we were all screaming and trying to sort things out on the inside. So, and with those windows, you can't really hear.
And what's this area normally like? Is it peaceful?
Yeah, God, yeah, round here, yeah.
So they came from quite a distance from that original protest in Borsley Green, about half a mile up the road or so, right? So
Makes no sense why they came down here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I saw one live stream which was supported by another clip where people were saying that they thought the EDL were incited. Are any of your customers from the EDL?
No, not at all. No. Every customer that was in there yesterday and staff are regulars, and no.
And you must think as though some of those customers are a bit nervous that they're just going to be targeted in the street after what happened last night, or at all?
No, it's just people trying to just stir it up, just to make it more. I don't know. No, there's no EDL, there's none of that rubbish. No.
Well, Linda, thank you very much. Well, the clear-up operation continues here at the Clumsy Swan pub in Yardley after that mass mob descended on the location. But there's a sense here that this place is normally very peaceful. What happened last night was out of the ordinary and was very concerning for the families inside.